What up, Fortnite 2156 here. This is a Q&A. One of my friends, he just asked me a question because he knows that I've been doing testing for trucking. I'm going to see if he'll tune in. I'm just waiting for him to join into the conversation here. So just give me a few minutes. I'm guessing he just got my text, hopefully. If anybody else joins in, thumbs up for y'all. Yes, I did a calculations this morning, and I'm trying to find that paper as we speak. Where'd it go? Is that right on the back of it? No. Okay, there we go. I've dipped a whole lot of cans. This is a Q&A. One of my other friends asked me today, and he doesn't have a YouTube channel, which I wish he would. But he asked me, so how many cans a dip, and what brand are all the dip that I've done? And I wanted to answer his question right here on YouTube so people understand. I've been dipping since I was 13. I've dipped all different types. I've also done a lot of chews and stuff like that. If I had to say my most favorite dips and my most favorite chews, my favorite dips, and I categorize these on my past and now, dips that I would dip every day. I think my very first dip was Grizzly. I dip that whenever I have the cash for it. But yeah, that was my number one. Premium Mint or Wintergreen. And then Copenhagen is my second favorite, just because of how shall I put it? It's not as cheap, but it is still a good product. The flavor is really good. And then my newest, but one I've dipped for a long period of time, Longhorn. I have something like 16 cans that I get through in 2 weeks. I get through 16 of the cans. Kayak, I just started dipping that. It's not my favorite, but it's still a good dip. And then Skull, the question he asked was, how many cans have you, or what types of dip have you tried? If I went down a list, and I think I have made that list somewhere around here, I can just tell you them. I've done Longhorn, I've done Kayak, Grizzly, Copenhagen, Skull, Wolf, I've done Hawken, I've done, where's that other one? There's one other one that I've done, and I can't remember the name of it. But I do Redman, Chew. These are the chews now. Redman. Dadgummit. Actually, I think I've only done Redman in that category. Redman Silver, Redman Gold Blend, and Redman Original. I have not done reviews over that because I don't dip or chew those anymore. I used to. my big ones that I do is Longhorn and just Longhorn now. Because I haven't been able to afford Grizzly or Copenhagen or Skull. Skull, I only have, well, I'll turn you around so you can see the whole pile of them. Longhorn is my biggest one. Grizzly is my second biggest. Third biggest, it's a tie between Kayak and Cope. And then Skull is my only one can. What up? I'm 28, by the way, brother. Those are all the cans that I've dipped. And thank you for coming out, brother. Yes, you can. Anything at all. Any question, I'll answer within limitation. Yes, you can ask any question, and I am a Christian. Well, let me rephrase that. I've studied every religion. Jewish, Buddhism, Catholic, Christianity, Muslim, and there's one more. But, I mean, it doesn't matter what religion y'all follow, honestly. It matters of what you believe in and what you're obviously probably young enough to understand this, what your parents believe in. That's pretty much, everything. Yes, I believe that there is one God, just so y'all know. What up, Care Bear? Now, Care Bear, that is a harder question to ask there. Do I like Taylor Swift? Yes. I even have one of her CDs, just so y'all know. And I do thank y'all for all coming out to this question and answer. And for what I believe in, I do believe God is Jesus. Well, God is God. Jesus is a disciple of God. Just so y'all are aware. Repost that last question, Care Bear. I couldn't see it. The screen was weird. And if I try to look at the screen as it's going, it's kind of laggy, but that's just because it's on a cell phone right now. December. It was an old CD that I had, surprisingly. One of my best friends gave it to me as a joke. Well, he thought it was a joke, but I liked the CD. It really depends if, for that religious question right there, do I see Jesus equal to the Father? It's a matter of opinion. Sorry, I was looking for my mojo. Okay. Difference of opinion with that statement. Jesus was a disciple of God. He wasn't equal or not equal. It was so long ago, I do not have that CD right now. Actually, I probably don't even have CDs. Exactly. He was pretty much like a messenger of God who opened his heart up to God and led the people. And gosh dang it, I'm prepared. Lost my mud jug already. And I don't buy CDs. The reason why is because you can look them all up on YouTube and stuff like that. And plus, I don't have enough room to store those. Any more questions? I don't buy retro CDs anymore. That was back when I was about 8. Hold on. Okay. For some weird reason, my messages just disappeared. Hold on. Okay. Rather, he delivered the message from God. But we do pray him because he died on the cross for us, our sins. So, yes. But yet, he was a living person. God is in spirit. He's in everybody, everything. Any other questions besides those for you? Let me ask y'all something. Maybe y'all can answer this. Where do y'all live, like state-wise? From England. Rock on. What is that guy's name? Ben Phillips. Elliot Giles. Another YouTube, if you don't know who they are. Ben Phillips is if you look up on YouTube, Ben Phillips, his brother Elliot Giles, pranksters, yeah. Just pranksters. Constant. super gluing things to their faces, or Elliot's face. Ben, he super glued, I believe in the last video I saw, was he glued his brother a dildo to his face. Walked around, I believe it was a store called Tesco that they went into all the time whenever his brother pulled pranks on him to try to get the stuff off. But yeah, of course, British humor is the best humor. Just so you're aware, I do live in the US, but I love the British. Their humor is funny as hell. But yeah. I wish I could. I really do. It'd be better than living here, that's for sure. And I believe Care Bear is no longer in this live, or is she? Or is? Yes, he is. I have seen him, and yes, I do have to agree with you 100%. I don't hate Trump, and this is getting into politics. I don't hate Trump. I don't hate the Democrats. But what's going on right now in our thing is the Democrats are trying to get, I believe his name is Kirchhoff, for a sexual thing. No statement with that at all. That's a whole nother ball filled. Like I said, I'm an independent. I'm not Republican and I'm not Democrat. So I'm in the middle, and I know I'm going to get hate for saying this, but no, I do not like Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton, after our last president, and I'm going to say this, if she got elected president, you would see a lot more turmoil in the U.S. And by turmoil, I mean war. Like I always say, when you get, tons and tons of people backing one or the other, like what happened when Trump got elected and Democrats and all that. Democrats rioted. Democrats, did a lot of stupid stuff. But when Obama got into office, Republicans just went like, okay, he's in office. We ain't going to riot. So my opinion on Democrats versus Republicans, in that opinion, Republicans have a little bit higher standards there, where they don't want to stoop down to the level. But like I said, I'm an independent. I look at both sides before I judge. Some of the things, yes. Other things, I gotta say, he's looking on the purpose of trying to secure the border, for one. And I don't know if y'all or you have been keeping up with what's going on in the U.S. We've had so many immigrants from Mexico coming up here, taking the jobs of the people that are here, making a lot of people homeless up here, especially where I live. There's so many homeless. You throw a rock under a bridge, you're going to hit a homeless. Don't know why you would want to do that, but info. And most likely, most of the homeless now are people that I used to work with. And not to be racist or any of that crap, but it's mainly Mexicans that are taking jobs of these Americans. So, in my opinion, a wall is a good idea. But to go to the extent of separating kids from their parents, no, I don't agree with that. Nor do I agree with the cartel. Because they do a lot of bad things that I don't approve of. Like, for one, selling people for, trafficking and a whole lot of other things. But yes, Trump can be dumb at some points. You're right. And so can the Democrats. I mean, both sides are equal in that sense. And the thing that I know that y'all dip up there or smoke or vape. Are you at the age of doing that? Man, this stream has gotten quiet all of a sudden. But yeah, what's been going on in US with all the trades and all that, I do think that's dumb on his part, just because he put taxes on a lot of stuff that my brother's job needed, like metal and all that. So that part I do think Trump is dumb for. But yet, he is trying his best. I mean, if you look at how the US economy was. Hold on. Okay. Yes, I agree with you. It says something. And we did invade, or white people invaded. But you also have to think about this is what we're trying to protect is the rights of Americans. But we've also been police to a lot of other countries. All Trump is trying to do now is to try to be police for the United States. If you look at it, in all these years of government and all that power, and like I always say, if our forefathers saw how it was now, they'd be wishing that they were back in their graves. Because I don't think that they would want, our country to be in turmoil still. But I mean, yes, we did invade. Yes, we did hurt the Native Americans in that sense. But we also colonized ourselves, or I can't say ourselves because I'm part Irish. Great grandparents were Irish, mixed with American. So, I mean, I can't really say that. But it's become down to exactly. All Americans are from Europe, technically, but we also have a lot of different ancestries. And not all Americans, well, white Americans, yes, I do agree with that, but not all Americans are just from Europe. I don't know how to answer that. My Irish heritage is on my mother's side of the family. No, I do not. I do know, a lot of. I'm not friends with YouTubers. I'm subscribed to a lot of Irish YouTubers, like Jacksepticeye, Garnish Legren, who is a dip reviewer of the Irish Crow. No, I do not. But it is basically, I guess, what y'all would call fisticuffs over there. Or underground fight club, in a sense. If I'm not mistaken. I don't watch wrestling that much. Oh, getting back on politics. Trump's views on Muslims. I think that's pretty stupid, actually. Because I have a lot of Muslim friends that are really kind hearted people. Not, not the, as I hate to call it this, but radical Islam. Uh, in my opinion, I don't agree that all Muslims are radicals. I believe there are a few that have taken the Quran and all that to a status that is a false status of Muslims. So, I mean, it waves either way, really. But I don't agree with his thought pattern, though. But I can say, without a doubt, that treating people with disrespect, a Muslim person versus American, no, I wouldn't want to grow gray hair. That's what the president winds up doing. Every president that I've ever seen, when they start, they have nice dark hair color, but they always wind up with gray hair in every situation. Obama, he started out with black hair, he wound up with gray hair. Uh, Bush, he wound it up with brown hair, he wound it up with gray hair after his term. I just wouldn't want gray hair. I do laugh about that because every president, it seems, and I do think Trump actually dyes his hair a lot because I bet it's gray by now. If I had to choose a president of all time, I would go all the way back to George Washington because technically he didn't even want to be president. But he stepped in because everybody wanted him to be. That takes leadership to a whole new role that he wanted to, he didn't want the position of being the first president, but since everybody chose him, then yes. And yet, I know this is a Q&A, but I want to ask you a question. What do you think about the war in Iraq that whole scenario. Okay, Kennedy, he was a good president, not in the best of health, but he was an okay president, in a sense. That's all I really can say about him. I wasn't alive when he was around, so nor was I when George Washington was around. But George Washington, since he first started, he made decisions that made our future go the path that it did. And I think if you ask anybody what their opinion is of the best president, it'll be all different things. So, I mean, you're asking, like, say for instance, President Bush versus Bill Clinton. My opinion of those two, Bush, he may have got in the war, but he also took us to a power that we're at now, or we were at. And talking about war, before any more questions pop up randomly, if y'all believe this statement, let me know in the comment. And since there's only one brother, let me know if you believe the same thing. Where there is money, there's war. Well, like I was saying, wherever there's money, there's power. Where there's power, there's war. And the terrorist group, I don't know if that's a true statement there, because if you think about it, who did the terrorists attack first out of all the places that got attacked? They attacked US. If we did fund them and they attacked us, that's like biting a hand that feeds you. It's a disgrace. Just like if I funded somebody over in China or Japan, and then they go and attack us, that'd be like biting the hand that feeds. And I don't think anybody's that stupid, really, to bite the hand that feeds you. And the topics of my studying different religions, I came to understandings of the different cultures, the different people. And with that understanding of those different cultures and people, I do understand how a lot of people, feel about US people. Thinks that we're all overweight, because a lot of us are. I do have to admit that. All thanks to McDonald's, Burger King, and all these super size. And that we have bad habits like smoking, dipping. I agree. Yes, we are known to be fat. But that's just because that's the US for you. We have McDonald's, not just McDonald's, we have all these supersized items for food and that. Here in America, I can't say all of us drive those, because all my friends have, a lot of my friends actually have stick shifts. And yes, we all do have trucks. Well, most of us have trucks. A lot of us have cars. And I do agree with that, except for lorries. And you can admit, lorries are the best thing in the world. But yet we also have 18-wheelers out of the sight on how big they really are. And yes, we do use a lot of gas for all of our vehicles. But yeah, that's why I also like Britain and Europe and all that stuff, is because they are more efficient in what they have. I just love how eye pleasing the homes are and all that. So, I mean, yes, Americans have the biggest crap that you could ever have, uh, and it's all like crazy out there. Like right now, I have a Ford Ranger Edge truck, and it's, in my opinion, I could barely fit it into a normal garage. Most of them are psychos, actually. Uh, and rednecks, yeah, as my name titles, I am a Ford neck, so I love Ford trucks, and I am kind of a redneck in a sense. But yeah, we are one crazy people. Yes and no on that question. Certain musicians I do listen to in country, but I'm more of a old classic Beatles fan, more myself. Just because they're more like a classic hit. Uh, so, I mean, I do like country, but I also like the classics, like Beatles. Uh, where's another one I used to listen, or I listen to on a daily basis? Uh, if you look at my channel in a review list, there's a picture of the truck or a video of the truck, just so you're aware. Uh, it's nighttime actually here, so I can't go out and show the truck because it won't be showing up. I'll try to get a video tomorrow on the entire truck so you can see that. Uh, it is 7:18 p.m. at night here. Uh, I know that's weird for you to hear that in America it's 7:18 in the night when it's that time with y'all. It's freaky for me too. Because I used to play Xbox with a lot of yes you are. Let's just hope the future that you're seeing of America and all that is not devastation. Because let me tell you, I think that's where we're headed, is devastation. No, I do not own a gun. I used to. I used to own a Desert Eagle 50 cal, but I had to sell that, all thanks to that gun laws and crap. And yes, I do like You know, someone asked me that about a week ago, not on YouTube, but in real life. Do you think that Americans really need guns? Do Americans really need guns? I would say they really don't. But if you look at how much crime, how much gangs are here in America, I would say yes, just because for protection. But on the other hand, I see how a lot of people are kind of on the off about it, if that makes sense. A lot of, like the Second Amendment Act here in the US, it's the right to bear arms. So, I mean, pretty much it all follows underneath that law where you can if you want. Do I think Americans really need the guns? Not necessary, but in my opinion, a gun can't kill another human without somebody pulling that trigger. So, in my opinion, I guess the thought pattern comes down to whether you need guns or not. Uh, if that's a yes or no question, I mean, I'd much rather have somebody, say, for instance, a school having an armed guard, which actually we have here in America, and I do agree with it. Because a lot of school shootings have been going on. A lot of terrorist attacks have been going on. Probably same with Britain. There's a lot of terrorist attacks that have happened in the past few years. So, I mean, technically, I'd much rather have a police officer that has a gun than that can protect us than, you know, somebody who doesn't know how to shoot a gun and all that. So, and yes, it is scary. But like I said, I live in a city that has a high population of gang members who carry around guns all the time, who do drugs and shoot up places and all this stuff. So, I mean, yes, I do think some states that have that issue should have guns. And I think they should come down on that law where if you're doing it in self defense, you could be arrested. I do think that they should come down on that law and can that one. If it's self defense, you should be able to defend yourself, either with fist or with a gun, either one. And on the topic of guns, uh, anything that you can grab in your hand can be used as a weapon. So technically, if someone wanted to cause harm, they would just use whatever they had. It didn't have to be a gun. It didn't have to be, a knife or any of those type of weapons. It could be just your hands. Yeah, it is sad. And I see why we can't get along is because of one thing: money, greed, and power. Money creates the greed, greed creates the power. And when a person on earth gets too much power, they want more. So it winds up causing a big conflict, which leads to war all the time. So that's really hard to say that if religions created a war, uh, just on the fact that uh, religion versus greed. I mean, if you look at the whole standards here in Bible or whatever book that you want to read out of. Greed is a sin. It's gluttony. So more gluttony. Don't hate me if I get your name wrong. Hello to you too. I'm going to try to pronounce your name when I see another comment. It's just going a little fast right now. But back on the topic of religion versus, could cause war. Some religions may cause war, but most religions thank you, Rylan. I know you dislike it, but religion causing war is kind of one of those topics that is different sided, really. Some religions can cause war. Not all religions, some. No, I know. I just like the fact that we all have war and all that stuff. So I mean, it it's a really dislikable thing. Uh, but there are some people out there that just want to do war just to have fun. Okay, that just got me stumped there. Thanks for that comment, by the way, Rylan. But yeah, but on the topic between ours and England status, I mean, England was a ally to us. So I mean, because a lot why I'm doing a Q&A video, and thank you for that comment too, is because a lot of people have been asking me on past videos to do these Q&As to see what the world wants to know. I mean, it's kind of weird, but yes. I am a dip channel. I'm also a cigarette channel. People have different opinions about that stuff. But yeah, I don't mind. Questions are questions. I have no problem with any of them. I'll answer any of them personally. And having a guy from England asking me questions is great. I will answer any. I don't have a problem with any. Uh, Actually, I enjoyed hearing all these questions. And I mean, if you really wonder why I do Q&As and stuff like that, is because people have asked me questions and thought it might help answer some of those questions that people have asked me personally. And if you're new to my channel and you're a dipper, smoker, any of that, maybe some of my videos might help y'all. If y'all are too young to smoke and do it, I do not recommend that. I'm not that type of channel where I promote, smoking or dipping. A lot of rednecks out there will say, oh yeah, if you haven't tried a certain dip, go ahead and try it. No. I mean, if you see cigarettes or dip and you already have done it, okay. But yeah, I don't believe really in any of those. I don't know what that second one was, but I don't believe in demons and I don't believe in ghosts. Even though I have had run-ins with some unexplained, phenomenon. Can't really explain those. Don't really need to. They happen, they happen. I mean, it's people's opinion. But no, I do not believe in ghosts or demons or, folk tales. So, just to answer that question quickly. And I know up in England and Britain and all those Europe things, they have snus. Portion snus, I believe it's called up there. We have what y'all would call portion snus here. Oh, thanks for joining and all that. Any questions that maybe I haven't answered? Are you still here, brother? No, okay. Any questions? Okay. I just saw nobody was in this, but okay. Cool. Okay, cool. I mean, I've done a lot of studies on dips, cigarettes, and stuff like that in other countries and stuff like that. Y'all have portions of dips, I believe, in England, or what us Americans call dip. Y'all probably call it snooze or snuff or some of that stuff, if I'm not mistaken. Am I right, brother? Well, when you get up there to the age where you're allowed to buy tobacco products, and I don't recommend getting involved with, dip or any of that stuff, or chew or any of that. Good. Don't smoke. It's not a good habit. And don't vape either. It's not a good habit to get into. Because I base this channel off of, dipping and smoking and all of that crap. Don't be an American. Good. Don't do any of those then. Because we do have some of the things that England and all the European countries have. But our portions of those type of things are way out. If I had that amount of money, I would have to say I would have to give it to charity. I don't believe money. I don't need money. No need for that. I'm not like a typical YouTuber who enjoys, high life, as they like to call it here in America, at least. I would prefer, to live like how I am, happy with my life. Not wanting I would probably give 3/4 of all the money to charity especially to a charity that I hold dear to. Uh, Definitely, I would give all but maybe $1,000 to St. Jude. It's a hospital for children with cancer, different cancers. That would be a charity I would give it to. They've saved so many children's lives, and one of my best friend's sister died of leukemia. Really a quick acting cancer that affected her bone. And yeah, it was back in 2000 when that happened. I mean, at least she wasn't in pain when it, all went downhill. She had beat it once. When I first met her, I was probably 6. Her brother was in my group, so he was 6 years old. She was 2 years younger than he was. When she passed, she was only 21. She had just turned 21 when she passed. Smart girl, had a lot going for her. And she beat the cancer one time. It came back harder than ever. Doctors tried to remove it twice. And then she finally, back in 2002, it ended her life. It's still a hard fact that someone had to die at 21, or not even 21. Her birthday was like 2 days after she passed. So she was still 20. But yeah, still hits a lot of us. She was so good to a lot of people, and I don't think anything can replace the love and passion that she put into a lot of people. But yeah. Okay. Let's get off that sad subject, because that is a little touchy subject of mine, which I'm still not fully over. But she's been dead for, let's say, about 7, no, that was back in 2000, about 18 years now. I used to go over to their house. That's why it's a kind of a touchy subject for me, but that's why I would give all the money except for $1,000 to St. Jude, because they actually kept her alive even farther than what the doctor originally said. So, but yeah. I'm sorry to hear that. It's hard, isn't it? To, one day you see them all healthy and, loving life. I have my dream car. And it's not a car, it's a truck. I have my dream car. I've always dreamt from when I was young to own one, and I would say I purchased that in actually about 6 months ago. Purchased my dream truck, Ford Ranger Edge, a 2003 model. It's a cyan blue with mud tires on it, and it's a V6 engine with a 4-wheel drive. BPH. I need some explanation what that is. Do you mean miles per gallon, fuel cost, or? So you mean brake horsepower? I've never heard of anybody saying a brake horsepower, but the horsepower of that thing, I haven't even maxed it out yet. So I really don't know. I've hit, let's see, on the interstate here, our speed limit is only 65 miles an hour on the interstate. I don't know what that is in kilometers, but I've hit on the max speed that I've hit is about 110, because that's all I'm gonna be willing. Okay, good. I mean, I've heard so many different things. Like some people say use kilometers, some people says use miles per hour. Yeah, that stuff. Uh, I've hit 110 miles per hour on interstates in my truck with big ass mudding tires, probably a 36-inch tire with mud terrain on it, or mud tread on it. I don't know if I can call that nice. My old car, which I used to own before the Ford, it was a Nissan Maxima, a 1997, and I hit 130 miles an hour on the interstate in that. And it was a V6, similar to what my truck is. So, I mean, one of my friends, he has a truck that he races. He can reach up there to about 250 miles per hour in his truck. Horsepower, yeah, he has a Chevy 1500. It's a 2000 and I want to say 2009, no, 2018 model. But he's upgraded that thing to the highest extent. Like y'all say that the Americans love their trucks. Yeah, your statement would be correct about that. All of everything on my truck is what the dealership had on it. So I didn't pre-acquire any of that stuff. I didn't purchase anything for it. The only thing I purchased was a new starter for my truck. But yes, 250 miles per hour. Well, now that's a good statement. Why do we need big vehicles? I'm at a loss for words with that statement, but the honest opinion of me, I do not know. Maybe it's not that why do we need it, it's that we want it. We want bigger vehicles, stronger vehicles, ones that can pull a lot of weight without getting up there to an 18-wheeler style. Sorry if I missed that question that just popped up. My screen is scrolling through them like crazy, but that's why I think we want them. We don't need them, but we want them. Hold on, let me see what that other question was before it all pops up again. Okay, hatchbacks are awesome vehicles. My mother, she owned a Volvo hatchback. Wonderful little car. But the story behind that is that my brother, I have a 39-year-old brother, I'm 28. He used to own that car and he wrecked it. Lucky. RS3s are amazing. Especially RS3 with the upgrade kit that Americans have. My best friend, he just purchased one. But he fully upgraded that thing where he can get up to, I think it's like 350 miles per hour. He added a NOS kit, a suspension kit to make it lower. Like, he went all out with that car. Almost to where it's a stupid moment. Right now, I am unemployed. I'm getting into 18-wheel driving, or as most of y'all would probably understand, lorry driving. Uh, I know one lorry driver up there. I agree with that. Here in America, it's no different. Just I've been out of work. I would say it's been about maybe a year now. I got let go uh, from one of my jobs. Uh, I've been studying to become a truck driver, a bigger truck driver than a Ford Ranger, at least. Uh, it it's a lot more process to become a truck driver here in the U.S. Uh, it's a whole lot of process up there, but in England and that area, because you have to learn the, what do they call it, roundabouts and all that. So, I mean, here you have more straight. We have no roundabouts, which I think is, I don't know if that's a plus or a minus. Uh, I know up there, a lot of people who drive around there said roundabouts are the most annoying thing. Yeah, we have no roundabouts here in the U.S. Uh, yeah, that's why I've heard from a couple of lorry drivers up there in Bristol, like Jay on YouTube, and a few others up there. So, yeah, Bristol. That's what I said. There's a whole lot of, I don't know if I said that properly, but that area has a lot of roundabouts from what I've heard. Yeah. What is your job, by the way? Wow. That is actually impressive. I wish some US people would take note of how much that the UK science, computer science, and all that. I mean, it is one of the toughest things here in the US to even get into. I think here in the US we have like graphic designers on for video games and stuff like that, but that's really all that we ever hear of, computer technology stuff. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people here in the US either become truck drivers. Well, if you've ever eaten at a burger place in where you live, think about doubling the size of everything that you've eaten so far. That's what Americans are known for, eating and getting fatter. And yes, man versus food is one of those things. And he does some really crazy stuff here in the US. Also, bizarre foods. But yeah, there was. And yes, it is huge. And I've even noticed that. And more and way cheaper than going to the store and getting a head of lettuce or getting all the necessary stuff to make a burger or something like that. Because I believe McDonald's here in America makes a burger, a big burger for $1.50 U.S. currency, $1.50. I don't know what that is in pounds. Uh, but yes, it and a head of lettuce is more like $6 to $7. Cool. Yeah, it's more like $6 and $7 for a head of lettuce. And yes, the burgers are cheap, but you also got to think about cheap and the nutritious factor, which scares a lot of people who are like from another country away from even thinking about eating fast food here. Um, so yeah, I mean, ooh, seen on the stool. But yeah, the food here is outrageous in the amount. Like I said, most Americans are bigger just because they eat so much more, and some people overeat. And some countries who come here and see Americans firsthand, they're like, man, these people must be on their way to death. And I would have to agree, some of us probably are. And all those advertisements that y'all might see that Americans have done, they aren't far from the truth. Yeah, I mean, one of my friends, well, one of my closest friends who lives here in the U.S., he he weighs about 320 pounds. big guy. I mean, I would count that as a lot more, probably 50%. And yes, I did say 320 he weighed. He weighed that back in high school. Uh, I weighed about, and I still weigh about 210. So I'm a big guy too. Don't look it, but I am a big guy. Uh, he has always weighed about 310, 320 all through high school. Still does. He's probably a lot bigger now because he's living as a truck driver. I personally weigh about 220, 210. He is only a 5'8". 5'8". I am 6'1". So, just to give you a little reference. And I'm sitting on a stool, so. Yeah, 5'8", 320. He is a big dude for his height. Yeah. That's pretty big dude. He isn't taller than me. He's a little bit shorter than I am. But he doubles in my weight. He has a twin brother that looks like that. His twin brother's only like 5'4", and he weighs about 320 himself. So, yeah, he does look that way. He, on the other hand, looks like what's that guy's name? No, yeah, he does look like a basketball. So I mean, in a sense. There was a manager at my old job who weighed 400 pounds, and he was a 5'4". Talking about overweight people, he was a whale of a lifetime. But yeah, I mean, the statement about Americans being fat, yeah, there's a whole lot of them. I mean, I would say about 50-50 are fat. Oh, there's people here in America that are bigger than 400. I mean, there was a girl in Kentucky, U.S., who weighed 650 pounds, and she was only 5'4". Yep, definitely bigger. I guess that's why they say in the U.S. are bigger in a sense. But yeah, there's a lady in Kentucky who weighs 650 pounds, and her height is only 5'4", 5 feet 4 inches. So yeah, there's a big difference in body weight. Oh Lord, yes. Mini planet, big people. Yes. But the terminology of that, the 650-pound woman, yeah, that that's an understatement. That's about middle ground of how heavy people are. Some people are around here. Uh, there's some people that have actually, and I have actually heard, who knows? I mean, seriously, who knows how they breathe at 650 pounds? Have no earthly idea. Uh, there was a guy in, I believe it was like New Orleans in U.S. That's Louisiana, who weighed 1,000 pounds. Now you think about carrying 1,000 pounds of weight on your body. I don't know how he was still alive, but he was still moving around. And yes, I don't really know how they breathe at that weight, because if you think about it, if you lay in the bed, you're going to crush all this. What us Americans have not learned it by these people who are getting overweight and all that. Yes, a lot of us do go to gyms and do exercise our butts off, try to eat right and all that. And it's not just a mental issue. I mean, you could state that about a lot of things that Americans do. Uh, Most of it's due to depression. A lot of people eat because of depression. But a lot of people, and I really hate to say this about Americans, but it's true. Most women think, nowadays here in America at least, that bigger rears, bigger chest, bigger bellies will get them the love that they want. And I don't agree with it, but that's what a lot of American girls are thinking. They aren't thinking about being skinny, you know, being good looking or any of that stuff. And I know this question's about to come up, and I don't want it to have any opinion on this. I've dated big girls. I think the biggest girl I've ever dated was about 480. And yes, they will crush. They're like a dang, what is it called? A demolition ball. Yes, yes. It. They're like a wrecking ball when it comes down to it. Yeah, you know Miley Cyrus? I came in like a wrecking ball. She never met my girlfriend. That girl was a wrecking ball. Or ex girlfriend, I should say. And I think the US guys, I don't know if it's different for where you are, but we just think, oh, if we dump them, I mean, if they dump us, we go out and find another one. But that's how it works here in the US. I mean, usually what happens nowadays, yeah, no, if she farts, it causes the whole New York City to fall into the water. Also, Florida. Both of those states are going down. Sorry. Oh, we just lost Florida to someone who farted. Oops. Or New York City. Oh, sorry, Governor. We just lost that. Well, she cheated on me. That's what made me leave her. She cheated on me with 7 other guys. And yeah, she got pregnant with one of those 7 guys. Don't know which one. So that just added the weight back, farther onto her. So probably in pregnancy, she probably weighed easily 510 or 520, something like that. Oh, I deserve better. I deserve a British girl. Trust me. it's one of those things where Americans, they want another country's girls because at least they have properness to them. Whereas the girls here are, they will cheat on you in a heartbeat. If you don't got money, they don't want anything to do with you. That's how the girls here work. Most of the yes, all the girls pretty much are that way. There might be only like 1 or 2 that I've ever met or dated or any of that have not been after money, but most of the girls I've dated only for money. They don't care about love, compassion, unending love and stuff like that. All they care about is give me that green, the money. So that's why it's all that way. A lot of my friends, they've been taken for everything that they've earned or inherited or any of that. Girls here are basically like a bank that you'll never get your money back, or like a casino. You never get your money back. So you wind up in debt. And so it's one of those things. A lot of people have asked me that. If I found the right girl who could put up with my craziness, which American craziness is a whole nother realm, yeah, I would. Well, first, she would have to be willing to put up with craziness. First of all, I'm crazy in the fact that I love trucks, love mudding. Uh, I love the outdoors. I wouldn't want to live in a city, that's for sure. Uh, she would just have to be one of those girls that are okay with, you know, having less and just being happy with the person you're with. Uh, but yeah, like I said, here in America, that's the tallest order to find a girl like that. There aren't any really girls like that anymore here in the US. There used to be before we started, all these girls started doing like live, or what is it called? Live Me or something like that. Or, you know, I believe it also was like Facebook, Instagram, uh, YouTube, and all that stuff. Just because people now think that, oh, your YouTube channel, you have a lot of money. And let me tell you firsthand, all my videos, and right now, I have never been sponsored, never want to be sponsored. Uh, I do this for fun, uh, because getting to meet new people and having that subscriber list where I talk to a lot of the subscribers is one of my favorite things because I get to learn a little bit about them. Also, they get to learn a little bit more about me. So like if you ever look at any of my playlists on my channel, I have a lot of dips, a lot of cigarettes. You know, I have a truck review, other reviews, and a how-to videos like how to get away with dipping and without your parents finding out and stuff like that. But in every channel, any of that dip that y'all see me dipping on, or any cigarettes I've had, or truck, none of it's sponsored. Any products that I promote, I've never been sponsored. So I do it just for the enjoyment of me and the enjoyment of viewers, just to put it out there. Same with Instagram. I have an Instagram just so I can chat with people. Yeah, I mean, I have a whole lot of videos that I could go back and redo sometime, but I'm starting to run out of dips and cigarettes to review since I've done so many. But yeah, that's why I've started doing more Q&As, doing more on the line of, I can't say vlogs, but I try to do some. And whenever I mention, say, a channel, say like Outlaw Dipper or United Gamer or any of those channels, because I watch those channels. That's why I promote their channel, because it's really good content. Actually, Outlaw Dipper is one who actually got me into YouTube, because I used to watch his videos all the time. Ow, sitting too long. Okay, hold on. There. Okay. Sorry, sitting too long, but that's normal. Same to you, brother. I'll probably end it in a few minutes anyway. Thank you for joining me on this. Have a good night, brother. Or morning. You know what I mean. And actually, right now, as this video is about to end, I want to say keep on smiling to all of y'all. And I'll see you on the next video. And thank y'all for coming out and joining. I do appreciate it. And brother, keep studying on your work, and I know you will succeed. I'll see you on the next video, or the next live stream, which will probably be tomorrow. I love all of y'all from the heart. See you on the next video.